Hello and welcome to CurricUNET. This is part 1 of the approval process training. In this video demonstration, we will be covering one of the most vital and important components of CurricUNET, the approval process. It's imperative that you learn and understand how to put together a comprehensive workflow for your institution. This will ensure an expedited processing time, a minimization of errors, and confidence that your proposal has been critiqued by appropriate faculty and staff members and is ready for implementation. We will be creating a mini workflow that will showcase the elements of the approval process. It wouldn't be a bad idea to take notes as we go through this tutorial. In fact, every time you see this pencil icon, go ahead and make note of what we're talking about. Okay, I'll give you a heads up on this first one. Here comes the pencil icon as we talk about steps and levels. Here's an illustration of a simple approval process. Each of these boxes represents a step, and each row of boxes represents a level. As you can see, my proposal is designed to move to each step and then from one level to the next. I also want to create options so the proposal can be sent back to previous steps for revision and then sent forward again after the corrections have been made. Let's get started by making our own approval process. The first step in creating an approval process is to create the proposal type under the lookup data. To do this, select Lookup Data under the admin portion of CurricUNET. Now, click on the proposal type. You will see a new box listing the names of course and program proposal types. The first drop-down box allows you to select what the proposal type is in reference to. You can choose either course or program. Some institutions may also have the option to select package. For this training, I'm just going to select course, but the setup for the other two choices are the same. Now, depending on your CurricUNET site, you may have a second drop-down box. The second box allows you to classify your proposal type. You can choose from New, Deactivate, or Modify. The titles are self-explanatory. Now you'll need to give a name to the new approval process in the title box. I'm going to label this one New Test Course and click Add. You will see it appear under the Courses section. For those of you who had the second drop-down, you'll notice that the classification is listed after the title. From this screen, you have the option to edit or drop, or in other words delete, the proposal type. Now I can create my approval process. I'm going to click on Approval Process under the Admin section and select New Process. I will give my proposal a new title and select the proposal type I just created in the previous step, which was New Test Course. I'm going to choose Course from the type box and then save the new process. Now we're going to see the version box. You might have to update your proposal process from time to time, and the easiest way to keep track of when you last did this is to type in the current date in the version box. It's important to note that whenever a change is made to an approval process, it may affect courses or programs that are currently undergoing review in that process. Do not make major changes to an approval process without creating a new version first, since it can really wreak havoc on existing proposals. Creating new versions and editing processes will be covered later on in this video. Go ahead and save the version. Now we can add steps and actions. Remember back at the beginning when I showed you the visual of the approval process? Each box represents a step, and each step has one position assigned to it. In the Steps box, I will give a name to the step. Since this is the first step in the process, I will call this one Originator Launch. You can use whatever name you want for your steps, but try to keep everything consistent within your institution. For instance, I will call my short title OL for Originator Launch for every process that is created that has an Originator Launch step. The step type determines if the step can move the proposal to the next level or not. An optional step will not move the proposal anywhere, but is instead used for information and reviewing purposes. A practical application can be where committee members can review the proposal, but the authority to approve or deny the proposal rests upon the committee chair. A required step will move the proposal to the next level. Please note that if there is only one step on a level, that step must be marked as required. Otherwise, the proposal will not be able to progress. Levels numerically separate the process into groups where similar steps are working together to ratify a proposal. I'm going to use a whole number for each major level in my process. I will introduce sublevels between the major levels at a different time. I will make the Originator Launch level 1 since it's the first level in the process. The days field determines how much time has been allotted for that step. If the days expire, one of two things will happen. To illustrate this, let's go back to our visual display. You can set up a default action to automatically push the process to the next level after the days expire, Or, if no default action has been selected, CurricUNET will auto-generate an email to be sent to the position every day until action is taken. For demonstration purposes, I will allow 1 day for this step. The position indicates who will be in charge of that step. As a side note, if you have more than one position for the step, you can add multiple steps to the level. Now I can type in a description for the step. This allows you to include a brief explanation about the step and what the position is required to do. When I finish all the fields for the step, I will click Add. You will notice that each step will be listed below as I complete them. From this view, I can edit or delete the step by clicking on the pencil or scissors icon. As I create more steps, I can also go out to the main menu and click on the visual icon to see what my process looks like. It is important to create all the steps in the approval process first before you start to assign actions to any step. I will go ahead and create a few more steps. In the visual representation, you can see that I have created multiple steps, some of which are on the same level. Now that I have our major steps created and designed, it is time to move on to assigning actions, which we will continue with in Part 2. This concludes Part 1 of the approval process training. Please watch Part 2 to view the rest of this exercise.